Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this morning's video, if you will. P Diddy, P Diddy, P Diddy seems to be the trending topic. You know, a lot of people are really jumping the gun on this P Diddy situation. And in the words of the great Aaron Rodgers, everybody just needs to simply relax. Just relax. Now let me tell you why. The feds raided his Los Angeles home along with his Miami home. And I heard someone else say New York as well. I don't know. Now, anytime the feds are involved in your case, that's a cause for concern. You know, the feds don't just decide one day and say, you know what, man, let's go raid P. Diddy's home. You know, so there is definitely cause for concern. However, P. Diddy has a lot of money, man. A lot of money. Now, I'm not saying that because he has a lot of money that he's untouchable. I'm not saying that, you know, ultimately he won't go to prison. Heck, they sent Bill Cosby to prison. So, you know, I'm not saying that his money's going to get him out of everything. But at the same time, the reason I say relax is, at this point, there's been no criminal charges filed against P. Diddy. P. Diddy, I'm quite sure he knew at some point they were coming. He didn't have anything in his home. I would go out on a limb to say P. Diddy didn't have anything in his home that was gonna, you know, implicate him into, you know, any wrongdoings as far as we're talking about sex trafficking. And see, oftentimes the prosecution, they overdo it. So you can get away with overcharging somebody that's broke, is poor, doesn't have any money. You can get away with overcharging them. So you tell them, okay, you facing 30, 40 years. So you take his 10, 12 years and it all goes away. It doesn't really go away. It's just that, you know, you go to prison and you don't have to worry about spending the rest of your life in prison. P. Diddy got hella lawyers. No offense whatsoever. P. Diddy got them Jewish lawyers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just your average lawyers. He doesn't have one or two lawyers. He has a whole team, a plethora of lawyers. So I'm quite sure that they've already let him know, like, okay, this is potentially what could happen. Go ahead and be prepared. If you do have anything in your home that you're not supposed to have, get it out of there because they can come at any given time. So when everybody's jumping on the internet, oh, man, they raided P. Diddy's home. Man, they got him now. They spearheaded by 50 Cent. P. Diddy's probably just sitting back like, I don't know if he's necessarily laughing, but P. Diddy's probably just sitting back like, okay, I knew this was going to happen. Now what? Like I said, there's been no criminal charges, and I've never seen so many people cheering for a man to go to prison. The, you know, R. Kelly jokes, he's going to be in there with R. Kelly. I've never seen that in my life, man. It's like, what is wrong with people? You know, this man has not been charged with anything criminal yet. Nothing. Well, I think P. Diddy made his mistake is when his ex, Cassie, she was trying to get that money from him. And initially, P. Diddy was like, no, I'm not giving you anything. And I think that was one of those things that went back and forth. And once that went public, she was suing him for $30 million, and she started to, you know, leak some of the alleged things that, you know, took place in their, I don't know, decade-long relationship. Actually, I think it was longer. As though someone made her stay. I think P. Diddy's lawyers told him, like, listen, we don't want this to spiral out of control. Let's go on and just make this go away, man. The problem is, once one individual seen wow, she sued him for $30 million. P Diddy gave her $30 million. Then the next person that's been around Bad Boy and you know, P Diddy over the years is like, well, shoot, I can say he did this too. Then the next person, well, shoot, she said it, then I'm gonna say it. And then it gets to the point to where the guys are gonna come out and be like, hey, man, yeah, he you know, he touched me, or he said inappropriate things to me, or he made unwanted advances with me as well. I'm not saying P Diddy's perfect. I'm not saying that he didn't do any of these things, but sex trafficking, man, I mean, seriously, his lawyers is gonna eat that up in court if it, you know, comes to that. So I'm not so quick to just, you know, convict him in the what do you call it, court of public opinion, like so many people are doing. Now, I mentioned 50 Cent spearheading it. The thing about 50 Cent, he's in the industry. He knows P Diddy somewhat. He knows probably a lot of information that we don't know. So I believe that 50 Cent has a disdain for P Diddy based on the fact that there are other things and other elements and information that are involved that he just can't come out and say, or he just chooses not to come out and say. Because 50 Cent is relentless as far as his pursuit of P Diddy. He's not letting up. He's talking about making a documentary, Surviving Diddy. Now, I don't know if he can legally do that, but I'm quite sure, you know, he has great lawyers just as well. So if he can legally do it, I'm quite sure that he's going to do it. But P Diddy, he's ahead of this whole, I believe, he's ahead of this whole, because they gave him several months. They gave him several months to anything that you may have, get it out of your home. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Allegations are allegations. And my thing is this. I've had people accuse me of things that I haven't done before. It's never been to this capacity. Not even close. Nothing, you know, sexual or anything like that. But I know how people are when it comes to money. And I know how people are when it comes to potentially going to jail. And this guy's a billionaire. So just think, these people, you know, they want to get their $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, they $1 million or whatever. So yeah, P Diddy did this. So it's one thing to have one person say it, even two. But if you got 10, 15 different individuals saying that you did something, guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're just going to go ahead and pay them out, make it go away, and move on. A lot of people didn't realize, and I didn't realize this until I heard, it was another YouTuber, Reggie Wright, former security with Death Row Records. He talked about how P Diddy probably didn't pay none of that money out. See, that $30 million she was suing him for, they settled. So I'm quite sure they came up with a number in which he was satisfied with, so he went on and paid her quickly. She wanted $30 million, he probably offered her $5 million. Her lawyer came back, nah, we'll take $20 million. He come back, you know how the negotiation goes, and they probably met somewhere in the middle, probably not even $15 million. Listen, man, we'll wire you $12.5 million right now. Sign these disclosure papers. You can never prosecute me. You can never say anything, testify against me. You can't write any books. You can't say anything like that. And boom, transaction done. Like I said, the problem is he let it get out to the public. So now everybody, it's a trickle effect. It's a domino effect. So everybody's going to do it. But as I was mentioning, Reggie Wright talked about an insurance policy that you can get if you're a homeowner. I'm not a homeowner at this point. Not yet. But if you're a homeowner, he said that there's a clause, there's a policy that you can purchase in which if anyone sues you, the insurance company will pay it. He said now it's rather expensive, like an extra $150, $200 a month. But what is that to Diddy? So he was mentioning that while everybody thinks that this money came out of P Diddy's bank account, he probably didn't even pay the money, maybe a deductible. But he probably didn't even pay the money out of his account, which means it didn't cost him anything. Maybe getting canceled with his insurance company. But other than that, I think that he's just fine financially. But until some criminal charges arise, people shouldn't just be so quick to judge him. Because when you really think about it, what did P Diddy do to anybody? Now, don't get me wrong. You have former artists coming out saying that he did this, he did that, and I get it. But what did he do, like, to the public? I mean, do people just not like P. Diddy? Do they just feel like he's an arrogant jerk? Is it just that, he's a rich man and they want to see him, go to prison? Like, I don't understand really the entire disdain for P. Diddy. Obviously, I don't know him. Now, when I watched the TV show Making a Band, I seen that he's obviously a jerk to people. So perhaps over all the years, it's just finally catching up with him. Like, essentially the rabbits kind of got the gun now. But when the thing about it, when the feds come for you, a federal raid. So if he's a federal agent, there's something that they're looking for, obviously. And they have something in their trick bag. See, the feds, man, the feds are so cold. They'll tell you, hey, get your affairs in order. We'll be back to get you in 6 months, 12 months. We're coming back to get you. So you might want to get your affairs in order. You can't run from them. So that's how cold the feds are. So I'm sure that they have something brewing. I don't know. They're not like the state. The state will just charge you. And if it gets dismissed, it just gets dismissed. The feds don't operate like that. When they come for you, they want to have their case solid. They don't want any holes in the case. They know that P. Diddy has powerful lawyers. They understand that, it's going to be a heck of a fight if they do, go and arrest him. The thing that I wonder is a lot of times the feds don't give bonds. Sometimes they do. People want to make it like, oh, how did he get a bond? Sometimes they will give you a bond. You're a celebrity. Sometimes they'll give you a bond, which is not really that big of a bond in the feds. But at any rate, with P. Diddy, should he be charged, the prosecution is going to argue that he's remanded, which means, he sits in jail until his trial. Because first thing they're going to say is he's a threat to any witnesses, to any potential witnesses. He's worth over $1 billion. So he has his own private jet. This guy can just flee the country to never be seen again. These are the type of things that the prosecution is going to say in court. So Your Honor, we'd ask that, he be remanded. No bond. Now, that's something that, like I said, it hasn't happened yet as far as the charges. But should charges come, yeah, they definitely want P. Diddy, man. They want him. He's a big name. The prosecution that's spearheading this, or that would be, the lead prosecutor or what have you. Just think what that would do for his or her career. You already got Bill Cosby. You already got R. Kelly. Y'all try to get Michael Jackson a couple times. You got Mike Vick. You see what I'm saying? Like, they love to get these celebrities in situations like this. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. A couple people asked me for my take on it. That's really my take on it. I'm not really one that's going to, talk bad about a person that could potentially be going to jail. Was P. Diddy a jerk? I'm sure that he was. But I'm sure that everything he's done in his life hasn't been all bad. And I just think the sex trafficking, it's way, way overboard. That's what's going to get R. Kelly out of prison. Mark my word. R. Kelly, that 30-year sentence he has, it'll probably be reduced, 10, 12 years. Because sex trafficking is a whole different element. See, sometimes the language in the law will allow you to do certain things and charge a person, but that's not really what you were doing. So when R. Kelly's lawyers, which is Bill Cosby's lawyers that got him out or whatever, once they get done with this appeal, it's going to take a little while, a couple years or what have you, his sentence will get reduced, and you'll see R. Kelly out making music again. P. Diddy, wouldn't be surprised if he ultimately does get charged with criminal charges. But again, just because somebody says something doesn't mean that it's true. You got people that's really out here that's wolves, that's really, they see an opportunity to get some of that money. Man, I worked for Bad Boy for 3 years, man. I can just say Diddy did this. Heck, 8, 9 other people's already saying it. I'm going to say that he touched me, or he tried to touch me, or he, made advances towards me. Shit, let me get 600,000-700,000. That's the way that it works. Oftentimes when you're presented or facing, prison, jail time, same thing that happened to me. These people's calling my phone, begging me Man, I need some money. Every sob story, you know, under the sun. It's Christmas time, man. I don't have no gifts for my kids, man. My electric's going to get turned off. Man, I need some money. Man, you know this is a risk now. You know, if you should get caught up, this is what you say. And if you say this, everything's going to be cool. Man, I'm from, you know, I had one person tell me, man, I'm from Chicago, man. Not saying nothing, you know, shout out to Chicago, but that's just what this individual said. I'm from Chicago, man. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I'm 2 steps ahead of y'all anyway. As soon as he got caught up, man, he was telling faster than anybody. And like I said, again, I'm not saying anything about Chicago or any other city. I'm just saying these are the type of things that people say, but then when it hits the fan, it's, you know what I mean? They don't have that same energy. He made me do it. We hit for $10,000 and he didn't give me nothing but $200 and I didn't even know what I was doing was wrong. And then they get to crying and it's a total lie. Y'all was blowing my phone up. So I can imagine a situation in which it's really some real money at stake. Come on, man. People gonna say anything. Remember this, a pair of lips can and will say anything. A pair of lips can and will say anything, man. So for, you know, choke, no joke, and he's celebrating. I told y'all. He's damn near doing backflips. Dudes is celebrating this man's house getting raided because they know ultimately what may follow. That's sad, man. That's so sad. But at any rate, man, Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now let me get on in here to work.